welcome to this video. Elysia and I are gonna go for a ride. We haven't done one in a little while, and our goal of today's session is to do a little bit of bridleless and understand stopping, backing up, and steering. We only have, I guess it'd be 2 weeks today. We plan to go to the beach and hopefully do some liberty and some bridleless on the beach, which would be super duper awesome. So I've got 2 weeks to make it happen. So I'm not gonna ride her every day, but we've got to start chipping away at her understanding. And the most important thing is that she stays calm during this whole process, because when we get to the beach, it's going to be a huge span of space that she can go. And so I need her to understand to just stay chill, stay relaxed, and understanding of what I want her to do. So let's hope all goes for the best and go ride Elysia bridleless.
Off we go on our first bridleless ride. So the first thing that I like to do is really, it's all about steering and all about being able to stop and back up my horse. And so here you can see I'm struggling to be able to turn left a little bit. I'm working on it. She's kind of wanting to go off to the right, and I even drift out of the camera zone for a little bit and come back. So even though that wasn't amazing footage for you guys, I wanted to include that as kind of like this is how we're starting, and this is what the first bridleless ride looks like together. So we're focusing on using the different kind of things that are in the arena to help give a visual target of where we're headed. And I'm basically steering her around the different things. Now, if she doesn't turn off of the neck rope, you can see I'm kind of leaning forward and I'm using some rhythm in my hand to direct her in the direction I want to go. The same kind of way that I do on the ground. And I have to be careful, like I'm trying to show her where we want to go, but I can't be too assertive because she easily could just run away from me. So I'm more trying to politely push her face in the direction that I want to go in and guide her where I'm headed. So that way, if she's kind of going, oh, I'm just going to head off to the right, I really don't want her to figure out that when we are bridleless that she can just ignore me and go wherever she wants, because that could be dangerous for both of us. So I want to make sure I have a way to say, look, if you're not understanding or going where I want to go, then I have a way to make it more clear. So see, I lean forward and then I add that in. So I'm speeding up the footage for you because I want to kind of give you a glimpse of just how much of this I did. Just a lot of walking around, turning around different objects, giving her cookies and rewarding her when she's being really good. And it starts to get better. I drift out of frame a little bit, but I start to do better at kind of staying in frame. And we make lots of turns and trying to give her some patterns. You can see we kind of do a bit of a figure 8 pattern there for a little bit. Even practice a little bit of stopping and backing up to make sure that we can understand those cues as well. And then here's a little look at after we've been practicing for a little bit, it's getting a lot smoother. Still not perfect. I'm still drifting out of frame a little bit there, but it's starting to get smoother, turning, offering her reward. And when I do turn, I try to remember that if we just did, let's say, a left turn around the box, then I'm going to give the treat on the left side to encourage that bend even more. And then we'll go off and we'll try some more stuff. And if I make a right-handed turn, then I usually cookie on the right side. And I tend to have quite a few pauses in there where we stop and we breathe. And I really want her to remember that we stay calm and we don't get upset and we don't go taking off. You can see she's still, sometimes I ask her to turn with the neck rope and she still kind of goes off the wrong way. So I still do use some rhythm with my arm to ask her to make the turn. But you can tell that even though, I'm doing some rhythm towards the side of her face to ask her to turn, it's not like she's upset at me. She's not angry. She's not running off with me. She's not doing anything that says that she's terrified of what I'm asking her to do. But it lets you kind of see how you can go about reinforcing that cue if you choose not to have reins or a bridle with you as backup. So a little bit more sped up footage there before I show a couple more turns. And I wanted to leave some of that footage in there where I sped it up for you guys just to show you just how much I kind of did of this. And I think the whole session was roughly 20 minutes long, and then I've shortened it down by speeding some things up and cutting a few things out for you guys to make it not ridiculously long and boring. But It was really just a lot of walking and turning, and her stopping and her backing up is really, really good. So I didn't do as much practice and repetition with that. It's mostly to do with the turning. So you can see like she was just totally ignoring me, and then she's like, oh yeah, I have to turn after I was using the rhythm there. So I don't need to do a ton of stopping and backing up. That stuff goes pretty well. It's really just her understanding that she also needs to listen to the turn. Like there, she did that pretty good. You could see that I didn't have to use any rhythm with my hand. And so she's going to get a cookie and rewarded for that. And trust me, there's a huge part of me that's like, oh, I'd really just want to go for a little bit of trot or something like that, because her stop and her back up is really good. But because the steering is not going really well, and I don't want to teach her that she can ignore me, especially at faster speeds, I want her to understand that the direction I give her to go is important, that she follows that direction, and that I need to follow through on where I ask you to go is where we head. And if I speed things up, then we might completely lose that altogether because it's not that great at the walk just yet. So I'm using all these obstacles. They're super handy for steering and weaving around, and kind of, it helps to give her a bit of a focus and me a bit of a focus to say, we're going around that box or we're going around that jump. And I'm not super strict in terms of like, are we going super close? Are we going out wide a little bit? It doesn't really matter. I can't be that picky when she's just learning, and this is our first ride with no bridle together. So instead, it's like, I want to go to the left and I want to go around the tarp in the box. But if we can go really snug to that, or there I made the turn in front of it, then that's great. Or if it was a little bit wider, then it's not the end of the world. Like here, I'm trying to turn right. She does a little bit of kind of a haunch turn as we go to turn right, which tells me that maybe we were a little bit stiff and straight. So there I got a little bit of a tighter turn, so I'm testing things out a little bit. But we're not being so particular that it's not achievable for her. And that's really key, is that I don't want to be asking for something that's too difficult, but she needs to start to understand how to follow those turns. And I am teaching her off of the neck rope because it is a significantly easier way to teach bridleless than using nothing. But using the rhythm on the side of her neck can also transfer to riding with no bridle whatsoever, would also be totally doable. But because we're going to be doing this at the beach, hopefully very soon, then I'm just focusing on the neck rope because that will be much more achievable for that. So just kind of being realistic. So at the end of the day, this is kind of wrapping up the session here. You can see she's relaxed, she's calm, she's not in a hurry to get anywhere, and she's not upset or anything like that. So this is looking pretty nice. We got our turns going a lot softer than they were in the beginning. Still have some work to do with it for sure before I want to venture into some trotting or some cantering. But our goal of the session was to have her calm and relaxed with no bridle, and realizing that she needs to listen to my cues. And that mission was definitely accomplished. This is what I want to see, is that the horse is not in any type of hurry to get away from me. And also that they're not scared or anything like that, that she's kind of engaging with me. She's looking to me, and I'm pretty happy. That's our first bridleless ride. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm pretty excited to do more with this special girl. The beach is going to be fun.